الله الرحمن الرحيم حامدا ومصليا أما بعد. As a student of Nahdlatul Ulama, sincerity and competency is inevitable in my academic life. After expressing significant ethics, today I am standing here to summarize a valuable book in Arabic, ماذا خسر العالم بانحطاط المسلمين, which means what world has lost by the decline of Muslim Ummah. This great book has been translated into various different languages. This was translated into Urdu as इंसानी दुनिया पर मुसलमानों के उरूज ज़वाल का असर, and in English published as Islam and the World, translated by well-known scholar Muhammad Asif Qidwai. The author of this book is prominent world scholar Sheikh Abul Hasan Ali Al-Hassani An-Nadawi, who was a leading Islamic scholar, thinker, writer, preacher, reformer, and a Muslim public intellectual of 20th century India. This first-class author had written this book when author himself was in mid-30s. It shows the correct world history, showing the effect of rise and fall of Muslim Ummah on the peace and stability of the world. Professor Sargent, a professor of Cambridge University, expresses his own opinion on the book, saying, if in British Constitution there would be a law to ban any book's importation, I would advise that this book should be banned because it diminishes Western civilization. Author divided his admirable book into 5 different chapters. First chapter, Al-Asr al-Jahili, pre-Islamic era, came into existence by these basic words of author. The 6th century of Christian era, it is generally agreed, represented the darkest phase in the history of our race. Humanity had reached the edge of the precipice towards which it had been tragically proceeding for centuries, and there appeared to be no agency or power in the whole which came to its rescue and save it from crashing into abyss of destruction. In this chapter, author described the actual situation of world before the advent of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, pointing out that the religion got hollowed out from the authentic teaching of their messiahs. Empires are on the path of extortion of money from their sentenced citizens with brutal unconcern, and the status of women globally needs no explanation. As humanity lay gasping in the agonies of death, Allah raised up Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to resuscitate it and deliver it from darkness to light. The second chapter, Min al-Jahiliyyati ila al-Islam, pre-Islamic era to Islamic era, concluded the era of Prophet Muhammad and his advantages on the world that was crumbling or hanging precipice may be toppled with its folks into the fire of hell. Author mentioned the Prophet's advent as the most remarkable revolution in history, where humanity had reached on its highest pinnacle. Those who used to perform femicides upon their daughters now disputing for a 6-year-old orphan girl and her upbringing. Third chapter, Al-Asr al-Islami, the Islamic era, contains the characteristics of Islam and Rashidun Caliphate and the influences of the imamates in public sphere and the impacts of Islamic civilization in human orientation. After that, author explained the major causes of Muslim decadence in the forms of religion weakness, heresies prevalence, ignorant tendencies in royal families, and separation of the religion from politics. Fourth chapter, Al-Asr al-Awrubi, the European era, in the words of Dr. Asif Qidwai, which may not be exaggerated if described as the core of the book. In fact, this constitutes a challenge to the West to search its heart as to whether it has made any contribution to real happiness of mankind by separating the quantitative from the qualitative and subordinating transcendental ethics to practical utility. He remarked the genealogy of Western civilization, saying its recent origins root go back to thousands of years to ancient Greek and Roman materialistic civilization. He acknowledged its tremendous advances in the field of science and technology, but the West has led mankind into a wilderness of fear, greed, loneliness, and spiritual despair. The author boldly asserts that all achievement of science would be of no use until a corresponding improvement is attained in human behavior by rebuilding humanity and its surrounding on foundation of the Islamic faith and the way of life. Last chapter is Za'amatul Islami lil Alam, Islamic leadership for the world, in which he highlighted is that the only solution to get rid of global crisis is transitioning the world leadership from the brutal, barbaric thinking process to the moderate, gentle thinking process. from the Europe based on materialism to the Arab world based on spiritualism. But it will only be possible when Arabs in particular and Muslims in general will wake from their deep slumber, prepare themselves for the material industrial advancement with spiritual faith, and be independent on their own riches in financial and commercial system. In last pages of the book, you will see the author in the form of reminder the importance of Prophet Muhammad and his message to the Arab world. Let me recite these words. Today we speak of Syria, Iraq and Egypt with pride. Had there been no Prophet of Islam with his message, there would be no Syria, no Iraq, no Egypt, in fact no Arab world. Not only that, the world could not have reached the high level of culture and refinement it did, nor could knowledge, arts and science have such high standard. In Iqbal's couplet, नहीं वजूद हुदूद व सुगूर से उसका, नहीं वजूद हुदूद व सुगूर से उसका, मोहम्मद अरबी से है आलम अरबी. Thereafter he criticized the Arabs and their blindly copycatting of the West. If today any one of these countries wishes to turn its face from Islam to the West, emulate the West in its ordering of life and laws, it should give up the blessing that the Prophet brought and then revert to its old decomposed state. Then it will go back to age which Roman and Persian imperialism held absolute sway. My advice to those who wish for renaissance of Islam is to read this book once in their life. In the end, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to one of my brother and mentor for his unwavering support and guidance, without which this wouldn't be a success. Thanks for everything. Assalamu alaikum.